Good morning, Monday. What's up? And we here. You already know what it is, man. There's a bunch of shit going on out here in the stratosphere. But getting straight to it, I want to talk about that kid, Tyler Robinson, that killed that dude, Charlie Kirk. Now, I don't know if the black community, the Latino community, the multi-generational race community knows anything about somebody named Charlie Kirk that was killed over the weekend. He was a conservative talk show radio host, activist, Republican Party, staunch and bona fide supporter of Donald Trump. I'm talking about neo-Nazism to its fullest, man. This dude here, he had his views. He had American views. He believed that Clarence Thomas, the Republican judge, should be more celebrated than Martin Luther King. He hated Martin Luther King. He didn't have no respect for Martin Luther King. Kid was 31 years old. Nevertheless, he had a big, super following on social media. A lot of white Republican, neo-Nazi believing people, they believe in him. And they have every right, because this is this country, and this country say that you can believe like that. Nevertheless, a dissenter of his opinion, that's what I'm gonna call the dude. You know what I mean? They calling him everything else but the son of God. But a dissenter, right, to his point of view, a kid that they name or saying is responsible for it. His name is Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old kid. Remember, Charlie Kirk was 31. Tyler Robinson, 22. They all in the same age bracket. Donald Trump likes to say how Charlie Kirk had the voice of the young people. All the young people is enamored with the things he had to say. But lo and behold, from among them sprung Tyler Robinson. And boy let off one shot, and everything was clipped cash for the dude, Charlie Kirk. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's rather ironic that the chain of events have unfolded the way that they did, because they got video cameras of this dude limping with the grip in his pants, hiding it. But a limp like that on a white boy just means a limp on a white boy. They didn't think that was suspicious enough to pull him over or anything. Had that been a black person or a person of color, it would have been a whole different type of narrative at this point. Nevertheless, they got surveillance camera of the boy limping with the grip, all that, getting on the roof and all that. Yeah, after the fact, nevertheless, they be watching the cameras, and in our neighborhoods where we're being occupied, they would have already foiled that plan he was attempting, which he didn't attempt. He did and got away with. Now watch. They got video surveillance of him getting on the roof, got the grip and everything. One shot is all the boy did. One shot. They talking about his shot was that of a marksman. Like, it was almost impossible. They like almost 2 football fields away. This dude on the roof, man, and one shot hit the dude, Charlie Kirk. And this dude, Tyler Robinson, has no professional training in anything, save for the fact that he comes from a family that grew up hunting. But that's what them white people do that live in them type of, distant places, in them suburban areas, those, Midwestern towns and stuff like that. They come up hunting. You understand what I'm saying? And so in that regard, it was one from among them that did what they did. They always want to magnify black on black violence, right? Or Latino on Latino violence, or violence that we typically find in the hood. They magnify that to every degree and at every level and on every scale. In this situation right here, that's white on white violence. That's white on white crime. That's one white boy taking issue with another white boy and popping his top. That's what that was, right? But, it casts an interesting backdrop when we look at, white on white violence in comparison to black on black violence, if you will. A despicable comparison that may be, but one that's here for us to consider, right? And so when we look at black on black violence, right, just over the weekend, they show how, dudes hit a chick out there again. They found the chick in the Bronx, hit up her and the dude. You know what I mean? It's the impetus behind the things we are finding issue with each other about and over, right? Unfortunately, in our community, we find the most pettiest shit to take issue with each other. Oh, I don't like that nigga. Oh, I don't like how he move. Oh, you don't even know. You ain't listening to nothing he said or nothing. Yo, I don't like that shit he be wearing. Yo, that shit is this, yo, man. That nigga always got something to say. Homie, we fight over and then knock each other off over the most pettiest shit in the world. But then when we looking at these people in comparison, right? Because we have to look at them in a comparison. They are descendants or progeny of the powers that be, right? And so when we look at them in comparison, look at what they be knocking each other off for, boy. You know, it harkens back to the saying, you know, I was just talking to the dude at my job about this, how, you know, one dude said, Joe, man, if you didn't see a dude, you know what I mean, physically, you know, but you just listen to him, you would think he's a white boy. So I said, so what that supposed to mean? He like, nah, because you know how white people always trying to say things the way they supposed to be said. I said, what, educator, like, you know, an educated response. He said, yeah. So I said, so when you tell people or black people or anybody that's not white, they sound like a white person, you were saying that only white people are educated and everybody else is not. Right? Nevertheless, but tying it back into what I was talking about, at least with them, they find issue with each other that be in principle. You understand saying they find issue with each other, you understand saying that be, you know, substantive, if or when they got to step up and back out them things, man. Right? Nevertheless, it still goes on, man. You understand what I'm saying? Do we cry boo-hoo about it? Is that a boo-hoo, you know, situation? To Charlie Kirk's people, it is, yeah. To Charlie Kirk's people, it is, yes. They are crying boo-hoo about it. To those who in the know but just don't, you know, care about it, not too much. For those who don't know him, none at all. You understand what I'm saying? But the dude had a following, and white-on-white violence does exist, right? But in comparison to black-on-black violence, it ain't got nothing to do with no petty shit. It always has something to do that's substantive. And so I said that to say this. Since motherfuckers always want to follow behind what these people doing, one motherfucker start following behind shit like that. You know what I mean? If or when we begin to have issues with each other, let them shits be substantive. You see what I'm saying? I ain't never heard, you know what I mean, of a split so visceral in the black community that can pattern what Dubois and Booker T. Washington was going through. See, you got to be educated to know what I'm talking about, right? Right? Because W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, them niggas was split. They had big followings in their time, black people. And they were split on principle, right? They were split on segregation and integration, right? But even still in that regard, substantive as it was, no blood was ever shed. No blood was ever shed, man. They differed in visceral principles, man. You know, we was talking about the changing and then the becoming of a time. You know, segregation was rearing its head. Booker T and them wanted to segregate. Du Bois was like, yo. No, Booker T and them wanted to integrate. Du Bois was like, yo, nigga, we all right. And look, visceral as it was, no blood was ever shed, homie. Here it is in our community, man. We could differ on a lyric in a song, a date of an incident, and then next thing you know, man, hear them things coming out, man. Come on, homie. They taught us this. Ain't no question they did. And so what I'm saying, harking it back to how I began, if we paying attention or listening to anything that they telling us or teaching us, stop just only about us, right? But pay attention. If you're going to follow behind something that's substantive. I ain't telling you to let these people be your teachers. I'm just saying that if you already follow them, man, then go ahead and show something that's substantive, man. Cut that petty shit out, man. Knocking each other off over corny shit, man. Bitches out here fighting over dick, man. And we the laughing stock to every other race on the planet Earth, man. right? The most proficient, the most intellectual, courageous, the strongest, right? But the laughing stock among them all, homie. You know why? Because we got that joker in our system, homie. You understand what I'm saying? Taking sides and picking sides and going against one another over some bullshit. Charleston White, he in the mix. Talking about he here to fix up shit in the black community. That nigga worse than crack. That nigga worse than crack in the black community. Because not only is his way of being addictive because people like to laugh at it, they find humor in that. And so people would tell you, yo, I don't fuck with the nigga, but the nigga funny. You know, sometimes he be saying the truth. That's what crack did. That shit made you believe that it was the new super drug, and you kept chasing that shit until you couldn't chase it no more. Because the first hit was the first hit. After that, everything else died. Same shit with this joker. He professes to come with a positive word for the community. You know, he wanna root out all the evil, get all the bad guys out, right? But he the bad guy himself. This dude finds ridicule in being able to talk to somebody on some serious shit, man. Disagree with the joker, and he gonna disrespect your dead mama. We don't need people like that among us. Because even if he is talking something that's substantive, the bullshit that come with him gonna make all that other shit fly over your head. We wasting our time with jokers like that. Yeah, we don't want the bad people among us. We don't want that evil out here. We don't. The fuck we want that for? Sit down, gangster. Sit down and ask yourself that, because I done had many a debates on the inside about shit like this. But sit down and ask yourself that. You know, I just want to make mischief just because. Yet, I stand for something that's supposed to be substantive. Something in reflection of the people. The greater than ourselves, right? Come on, homie. Ain't nobody in no conscious state of mind, righteousness be damned, is going to just engage in some idiot shit, some evil shit, just for the fuck of it. Unless you the devil, homie. And if you the devil, you don't belong among us, homie. You don't. You just don't. You don't. You need to go get with that energy of grouping. I like and always say them dudes that want to crash for nothing. Come on, I know we're stationed at. Stop playing games. You taking it out on each other when you and the person you taking it out on are both being subjected by a rule that none of y'all can't do anything about. Y'all should be friends if you ask me. Y'all got the same enemy. How you don't? How you don't? You knock that nigga off because you don't like him, he dead. They catch you, you dead because you going to the penitentiary with a life sentence. You could do that? Then if you could do that, you could do more. You could do something else. Make it count for something. Go give it to the other side. I don't hear you. I don't hear you. Go give it to the other side. Make it count for something. I stay telling niggas that the joint. Yo, homie, all right, chill. Remember that asshole? Yeah, he got the 3 to 11 tonight, kid. What's up? Huh? I mean, if you want to put on, look at what Tyler, the boy did, right? Tyler Robinson, he put on. Nobody ass nigga. Nobody ass nigga. On social media, nobody paid this nigga no mind, no attention. And it's funny how today all these shooters like fucking with transvestites. This shit is wild out here. Because they say the boy Tyler Robinson girlfriend is in transition from a dude to a girl. That's just like the shooter inside the Mo 3 situation, right? The black kid. You know, he got the IG post hugged up with the moon. You understand what I'm talking about? Everything was everything. I mean, come on, man. This is the times in which we live. But just because we see this playing out before our very eyes don't mean we got to embrace and then emulate. We don't have to do that. Why? Because we are greater people than that. I know you've been hearing that before. You just ain't never heard it from me. Right? A nigga who went to go see for a Saul. And I'm telling you, man, ain't nothing over there. It ain't nothing over there. Those 26 years I spent in prison was slow death, man. Torture. You gotta get on the phone and beg people to send you money. How the fuck you feel good about that, gangster? How do you feel good having to get on the phone and plead with other motherfuckers to send you a few dollars, man? When mail don't come, you don't hear from your people. You got kids out here. You don't hear from your people. You don't get a letter from your son or about your son. Nigga, you know the type of grief and fucking rage you gonna be going through in that cage? Huh? Your daughter 13, she growing titties. Her mama on the phone telling you she got a boyfriend. And you know the type of time these niggas on out here. How you gonna feel about that, gangster? Cause you ain't gonna be able to do nothing. Nothing. Nothing, boy. You gonna be in a cage filled with rage. That's all you gonna be. You gonna be in a cage filled with rage. Believe you me, homie, they made me do every fucking single day of that time. And I felt every single fucking day of that time. Yo, homie, I used to wake up in my cell sometimes, man, with the pillow over my head, man, peek from under the pillow, man, just to see if I was still in a fucking dream or see if I was in a nightmare. Couple times I woke up and found myself in that cage after peeking up through that pillow, man, and fucking cried like a little fucking baby, man. Asking myself, begging, praying to Allah, when will this end, man? When will this end? Am I gonna die in here? That's how I used to wake up in the penitentiary, y'all. And I had it my way. I did what the fuck I wanted. Anywhere I was at, I had it my way. You hear me? But every fucking day away from my family and my friends and this fucking real world of, you know, limited opportunities, man. Yo, homie, man, I was fucked up and broken inside, man. And it was only by Allah's mercy and by Allah's grace and by Allah's qadr that I made it back to tell this story, homie. You understand what I'm talking about? And so in that regard, man, you know, because we going to wrap it up into a bow, man. I'm almost at the plantation. You know what I mean? And so what I'm saying is that, you know, in a bow, man, wrapping it up, man, we don't take leadership from them. But if and when we do, let it be about something, man. Let it be about something. Like I said, nobody knew that boy Tyler Robinson name. That nigga was a cold nobody. A cold fucking nobody. You hear me? Nobody knew his name. Bet the history books record it now. And look at how they do. Just like the dude that got next to the dude from the World Trade Organization. The dude Mangione or whatever that kid name is, right? We gonna remember their names. White boy got right up on him, disagreed with the other white boy in his point of view on some substantive shit, and got with him. Nah, homie. Nigga looking at you don't mean he don't like you, man. That nigga might be checking out something you got on and might like it and don't know how to tell you that you rocking it right. You understand saying? So he just staring at you. That ain't no cause for you to be fuck that nigga looking at. Back out the chop and get with him. No, homie. No. Nah, homie. Niggas taking up a beef that belong to niggas on a different coast that don't even recognize either or on either coast. That ain't your beef, homie. That ain't your beef. When a nigga saying fuck you, right? The natural and most justifiable response would be fuck you too. These niggas just saying fuck you, and you still saying, nah, son, but I love them niggas because they just don't know no better yet. When the fuck they gonna know better? Because it been going on for a while, homie. That beef ain't yours. You gotta put that down, homie. Your cousins and them niggas started that shit over there. Let them niggas deal with that. You understand saying? But bombing on each other over some duck shit, that ain't gangster. And that's coming from a gangster, homie. Come on. Come on, man. Niggas paid their dues in order to be able to speak to these rules, homie. And rules written by whom? Written by whom? Ask yourself that. Where the fuck all these codes came from? Suppose these codes was written in secret by a bunch of motherfuckers who wasn't nothing but rats. Huh? How about that? The code was written by Charleston White and fucking Whack 100. And these is the codes that we going by today. Talking about these are street codes. Come on, man. You know, that was just like back in the day when people always came up with that saying, well, you know what they say. And my thing was back then, nah, I don't know what they say. And who the fuck is they? Like, we just saying, yo, well, you know what they say. You know, what goes up comes well, you know what they say. My thing always was, I heard what they said, but who are they? Right? Because they could be a bunch of sucker motherfuckers with a hidden agenda. You know, trying to manipulate by indoctrination and get the people to move in one direction so they can hoodwink the masses and lead us into the Janum. Right? Who the fuck are they? I'm not with that. Just taking it because everybody else take. Nah, take that. That's that Diddy shit. No Diddy. We not doing that over here. You understand what I'm saying? But wrapping it up, putting it in a bow because you already know I gotta go, man, inshallah. If we gonna follow behind what we see others do, man, let it be about something. Let it be substantive enough to say, yo, homie, you know, motherfucker stood up for something, right? Because if you don't stand for something, homie, you gonna fall for anything. You know you heard that before, you just ain't hear it from me. But now you did, homie. So my thing to the streets, to the gangsters, to up and coming, if it's gonna be about something, homie, let it be about something. I was talking to the lady yesterday in Red Wings, man. They own the joint. I went to go get some boots, and the lady told me her pop's name was the Butcher back in the days in the 70s, 80s. Italian nigga came home, left that shit alone, opened up a fucking butcher and a fucking shoe shop and got money after that. Then she spoke to how all these motherfuckers is rats today, like 67-year-old woman. All these guys are just rats today. Like, it's just crazy. Yo, even the tough guys, like, you know, this shit is crazy, right? And so we say that to say this, homie. If or when we gonna play, you know, according to a script, let it be about something, homie. Let it be about something, man. You know what I mean? All that just because, homie, let that shit go, homie. You gotta value yourself more than that, man. You more than a just because moment. Niggas use niggas for a just because moment because they looking for a way to brag about doing something and having something done. Sending another nigga to take a deal they ain't built for. Nah, homie, we ain't giving it up like that. We not. And if or when we decide to take arms and stand up and go against something or each other, let it be about something, homie. Don't let it be about some frivolous shit, some rumor shit. Yo, I heard. Yo, nah, because that's what they said about the nigga. Yo, I heard the bitch did. Yo, they said she did this. Nah, homie. That shit is in a cesspool of life, man. That shit is straight fucking squalor. Abject. People don't even want that. And here we go picking it up the same way we pick up pork chops and chitlins and call that shit soul food. Yo, man, we got to do better, y'all. Like, in the game of life, man, the black community is repeating the class over and over again. It's like we idiots. We don't know how to get ahead. And it's sad because we the ones who wrote the blueprint to this shit, man. Yo, listen, I'm going to leave that right there. You already know this is my square. YouTube don't write or produce nothing for me. They only give me some space so I can have some space to show my face, to talk my shit. You fucking with me, subscribe to the channel. You like the content, smash the like button. You already know I'm giving it up, homie. You know what I mean? We ain't sparing nothing over here because a biased tongue is a lying one, homie. We pick and choose when it comes to the rules. Once we do that, we side with evil, man. That fucking devil. The same ones that we learned in all our lessons and all our religions and all our teaching to stay away from, lest we become. And I'm out. One. Aha.